Imagine a portrait, commissioned by the most powerful man in the world, a symbol of his legacy, but when he saw it, his reaction was explosive, his words venomous. "That's the ugliest thing I ever saw," so declared President Lyndon B. Johnson. This wasn't just an art critique. It was a moment of profound political self-destruct, captured on canvas. A single painting didn't just capture his image, it reflected the precise moment his presidency began to unravel, exposing the truth he couldn't hide. This is the epic story of the portrait that helped cost a president his career. Our story begins with Lyndon B. Johnson, the colossal figure who inherited the presidency after Kennedy's assassination. A master politician, a man of soaring ambition, and a force of nature. By 1967, however, the Vietnam War was consuming his legacy. The weight of the world, and a nation bitterly divided, rested heavily on his shoulders. He needed an official portrait for the White House, a symbol of his place in history. The artist chosen was Peter Hurd, a renowned painter known for his stark, realistic landscapes of the American Southwest and his honest portraiture. LBJ, a fellow Texan, personally admired Hurd's work. Hurd spent days observing LBJ at his Texas ranch. He saw not just the president, but a man burdened, often grim, haunted by the war. He sought to capture this authentic truth, not a sanitized ideal. The portrait was finished. It depicted LBJ standing, his hands clasped, a slight scowl on his lips, his eyes heavy. It was a brutally honest, almost unflattering depiction of a man under immense strain. When the painting arrived at the White House, President Johnson's reaction was swift and furious. He called it the ugliest thing I ever saw, claiming it looked like a villain on a postage stamp. He even threatened to hang it in the outhouse. Hurd, a proud artist, was deeply offended. He refused to allow his work to be hidden or destroyed. He believed it was a true portrayal of the man and his time. The story leaked. The president's petty, childish outburst over a portrait became national news. Here was the most powerful man in the world, raging over art. It was an instant public relations disaster. This wasn't just about an ugly painting. It was a reflection of a president losing control. The public, already turning against him over the escalating Vietnam War, saw the portrait incident as definitive proof of LBJ's erratic, tyrannical nature. The painting, and LBJ's reaction, became a powerful symbol. It encapsulated the image of a leader who was out of touch, insecure, and increasingly isolated in the White House. He sought to control everything, even his own image. But the truth was beginning to slip away. The scandal contributed to a growing narrative of an emotionally volatile president. This portrait, meant to immortalize his legacy, instead magnified his greatest vulnerabilities and accelerated his decline. Months later, he made the shocking announcement that he would not seek re-election. Peter Hurd's rejected portrait of Lyndon B. Johnson today hangs proudly in the National Portrait Gallery. It is not the pretty, sanitized version the president wanted, but the honest, complex truth. It's a reminder that history isn't always beautiful. Sometimes, the most uncomfortable truths, captured by a single artist, can reflect the very reasons why an empire, or a presidency, begins to crumble. If you were captivated by this untold secret, hit the subscribe button. What other historical figures dared to face an unflattering mirror? Let us know in the comments below.